Hello, welcome to Psalm 1. We're in this brand new series called Psalms Today. We're looking at each psalm one by one, and we're not going to get into all the details of each psalm, just a brief video, hopefully to motivate you to want to read the psalm for yourself. We're going to notice one detail in terms of how it's written to help us read it today, and then we're going to notice one detail that we really want to make sure to apply today. That's the simple approach. And here we are with Psalm 1 at the start of the whole collection. And actually I've put the whole psalm on the screen. I'm not going to do that very often in this series, but I've put the whole psalm there. It's a contrast, presenting a contrast between this blessed man, a blessed individual in verse 1 and following, who is not swayed by the messages of the world, but instead is delighting in the law of the Lord, in contrast to the wicked. So you've got the wicked down here in verse 4 and 5 and 6, and I suppose the blessed individual is the part of the righteous group there at the end. So here's the detail I want you to notice. Okay, this psalm is communicating a contrast between the righteous or the blessed individual and the wicked. Okay, and the contrast is communicated through the words, but is also communicated through the volume of words. I don't know how often we'll see this in the book of Psalms, but I love this detail in Psalm 1, so I want to point it out to you. Notice how we've got this big chunk of description at the start, describing the one who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. On his law he meditates day and night. He's like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding its fruit in season. Its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers. That's a massive description. I'm just going to make a note here that there's 11 lines of detail about the individual that is the focus of the psalm. Blessed is this man, like a tree, fruitful and evergreen and prosperous. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful picture. But the contrast to that image, verses 1, 2, and 3, comes simply in verse 4. The wicked are not so. They are like chaff that the wind drives away. That's it. There's 2 lines to paint the picture of the wicked. You see the contrast? 11 lines painting a picture of the righteous. 2 lines, wicked are like chaff gone. Even in the way this psalm is written, the length of information, the amount of detail, the weighting of the lines building up emphasizes the blessed one. And the contrast is gone in a heartbeat. There's the detail I want you to notice. I'd encourage you to read this psalm. There's so much in it. But in terms of application, actually the application here that I want to notice is right at the heart of it. It comes in verse 2. What is it that is the essence of this individual that's being described? His delight is in the law of the Lord. That's what he's captivated by. That's what he is gripped by. And that's the invitation for us, isn't it? As we jump into the book of Psalms, to read it, but more than that, to delight in God's word, to enjoy it, to celebrate it, to appreciate it, to meditate day and night, for it to become a part of our lives. And so as we start a new year, we're thinking about New Year's resolutions and all of that. This is a pretty good one, that we resolve by God's grace this year to delight in his word, to meditate on it, to ponder it, to think about it. And so there you go, Psalm 1. There's a lot more that could be said, but I'm not going to say it. I'm going to invite you to read it and then share what you see with others. Share what stands out to you. Share what's helpful by email, by text, in conversation, and in the chat box below this video. Please make comments about what you've appreciated in Psalm 1. We'll see you next time for Psalm 2.